Most men never see it coming. It's not the loud mistakes that hurt you, it's the subtle ones, the tiny missteps in your clothing, your grooming, your behavior, the kind that seem harmless but quietly signal low status before you've said a single word. See, people are constantly scanning, making snap judgments based on how you present yourself, and when these little errors pile up, you don't just look sloppy, you look insecure, unsure, and invisible. But here's the good news. These mistakes are fixable. And once you start catching them, your appearance levels up fast. The way people treat you changes. Even the way you feel about yourself shifts. Because gents, if you're watching this video, you've got a future. You see yourself as a man of potential. You're a 1 in a million. You're that future business owner, that future engineer, that future doctor, that future lawyer. You are a guy that's gonna go out there and make a difference. You want to avoid the limp fish, also known as the dead fish handshake. Now, views on the handshake have changed a lot over the last few years. I personally view a fist bump as 100% appropriate in most situations. And in a casual situation, if you're a hugger, not really for me, but all the more power to you. But in most situations, for us guys, you want to have a solid handshake when you greet another man. Now, as a guy with smaller hands, the number one rule for me giving a great handshake is to remember to give a solid handshake. It seems like those moments when I'm not thinking about it, when I turn my hand down or something like that, and another man has a much larger hand, all of a sudden I'm getting crushed. And by the way, a quick recovery if you ever give a bad handshake and notice it and say, hey, let me do that over and have a little bit of fun with it. Another quick tip is when you're going in for that handshake, make sure to thrust the skin between the forefinger and the thumb, known as the thinner space, into the other person's thinner space. Now, gents, let's keep it appropriate here. We're just talking about a handshake. Now, really quick, gents, all this talk about dressing poor, dressing rich, how about you just simply learn how to make more money? Yeah, instead of dressing a certain way, wouldn't it just be nice to make an additional, $10,000 a month? I know for me, personally, when I hit that number, I felt I had made it. It seemed to unlock tons of opportunities. All of a sudden, I could save a significant amount. I was able to start taking my family on a vacation. I was able to start doing the things I wanted and living the life of my dreams. Well, gents, if you're at all interested in learning how to make more money, I want you to go check out this program I'm doing with Aaron Marino, aka Alpha M. It's called the 10K Club. I'm going to link to it down in the description. And in a nutshell, Aaron and I are laying out the step-by-step methods we have used to build multiple multi-million-dollar businesses so that you can use this information to make your first 10,000. In the program, we focus on mindset, skill set, action, and accountability, all wrapped into an amazing community. And gents, I'm proud to say that we are getting results. There are already a number of guys in the program that have already made their first 10,000 plus. So gents, if you want to learn more, if you're skeptical, which you should be, use the link in the description of today's video and go check out what we're doing. I go into a lot more information over on the page, complete with a video that's breaking out exactly what's in the program and why this program is different from any other one out there. Seriously, this is the program 15 years ago I wish I would have found. As a style channel, we want to mention some of the clothing mistakes you want to avoid that have a disproportional impact on your image. Those include not polishing and shining your shoes. It's a small detail, it just takes a few minutes and people notice when you don't do it. Wearing wrinkled clothing. Come on, gents, take a few minutes to iron the shirt, to steam your jacket, to press your trousers. Your shirt coming untucked, here is a simple solution. We call this the military tuck. As you can see from the infographic here, you're simply going to use your thumbs. You're going to pull the shirt back on the sides and then tuck it into the shirt. Now, this next mistake at best makes you look like a tryhard. And the worst part is how much some people are paying for these outfits. Gents, in case you haven't picked up on it yet, I'm talking about the wearing of oversized logos. Now, the sad reality is that some people are paying a premium for these and they're actually knockoffs. They're not even the real thing. Because let's face it, Gucci did not authorize this. Now, to their defense, Gucci and some of these other fashion brands have put out some pretty hideous pieces. But the reality is, with manufacturing the way it is, you can buy anything with any logo, and some people seem to think that the bigger the logo, the better. Gents, my thoughts on this are to keep the logo at a minimum. In fact, if you don't even see a logo, that's better. Instead, focus in on the style pyramid, which is fit, fabric, and function. Seriously, unless you're getting paid to wear the logo, why would you sport this huge one and be like a billboard for the brand? Well, we know the reason. People are trying to borrow credibility. They're trying to associate themselves with that tribe. They're wanting to fit in. And hey, who am I to judge? I was over in Japan and you see all of these fashion brands, people getting into this. It was like the highlight of their day. With streetwear, Supreme, Bathing Ape, it's huge. I've seen it. But gents, I have a feeling you're like me and that we know that status comes from within. Your clothing, it should help enhance your natural look, but you really shouldn't be relying on big logos to feel good about yourself. So the next style mistake that lowers your status is not following the dress code. Now you may be thinking, what dress code? At my office, when I go out on the weekend at home, there isn't a dress code. Well, try showing up to work in a chicken suit. Go out on the weekend in a ballerina outfit. Hang around the house naked. Now, you may be able to get away with that last one, but it's safe to say if you were to wear something that was really outside of the ordinary, you would get stares. You would actually maybe feel a little bit self-conscious. You definitely can't be out there showing up to work naked unless you work at a nudist colony. See, there's an expectation. There is a dress code. Always, even if it's unspoken. Now, some people choose to ignore this and they want to fight against it. But if you understand that there is an unspoken dress code, why not simply swim with the current? It's a lot easier and you can use it to your advantage. Seriously, if you're a lawyer in a construction firm, if you're a consultant at a very casual, creative office, you can still use your clothing in a way to be able to send a message before you even open your mouth. Because even though that lawyer could dress down, but the fact that he dresses up shows that he pays attention to the details. Again, not saying you have to and you don't have to dress up, but if you're the guy making sure that every multi-million-dollar contract has all the T's crossed and I's dotted, it's reassuring to people that you actually pay attention, that you look the part of that high ticket lawyer that's getting paid, 5 to 10 times more than the average construction guy. At that creative company, you want to connect with the people that are doing the creative work. And yes, you're not going to be doing the drawing, you're not going to be doing the designing, but you can wear those red glasses that you always get compliments on and that people know, hey, you've got like 5 to 7 different pairs, different colors, and people appreciate the fact that you bring a little bit of fun and creativity, even if it's something as simple and muted as your eyewear. Piece of advice I always try to tell people is have a uniform. Think through once what kind of message you want to send, maybe once a year, a couple times a year, change it up, then have clothing that you can default to that sends the message you want to send to people that you interact with on a daily basis. Now, this next mistake, there is no hiding from. And it's something a lot of guys, even when they look in the mirror, they don't notice. But the ladies, yeah, they spot it instantly. I'm talking about not paying attention to the details on your grooming. So first up, the easy one. Let's talk about the forest growing out of your nose. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, hey, I don't have any hair coming out of my nose. Well, unfortunately, you're looking at this at the wrong angle. See, even if you're 5'4", your girlfriend who is 5 foot, guess what? She's looking up to you. And what does she see? Right up into those nostrils. And gents, if you got a forest up there that sometimes catches things as they're coming out, it is not the best look. Now, I have an undergrad in biology. I understand the purpose of hair in the nose. But the reality is once a week getting in there and trimming that bush will do wonders for those looking up to you. Now, a less obvious area is going to be the eyebrows. And I'm not talking about shaping your eyebrows. What I'm talking about is basic grooming. If you've got 3 random huge hairs right in the center, maybe consider removing those. I know for me, once I passed the age of 30, I started getting these random really long hairs in the eyebrows. Well, consider cutting those. In fact, in case you didn't know, when you go see your barber or your stylist, you can actually ask them to take care of your eyebrows and your nose hairs. And while they're doing that, don't forget to ask them to clean out the ear hair as well. Now, does this all really make you look low status? You could argue no, but what this does make you look is oblivious. Oblivious to the small steps that you could take to look better. Because I know that you're an amazing guy, that you've got that fancy degree, that you've got that awesome experience, that you have that enthusiasm for running that nonprofit. But human beings in general are judgmental. So why not be judged as somebody that pays attention to the details? Because let's face it, you do on things that you know a lot about. If you're into cars, like my nephew, he notices everything about vintage vehicles. In the same way that you would spot a mismatch of maybe tires with a vehicle or a bad repair job, well, you got to expect if you're out there dating and you want to attract an attractive woman who puts herself together, well, she's going to look at how you put yourself together. Because even those guys that look like they're not trying, a lot of times that's a sprezzatura. Basically, that's an Italian term coined by, I think it was the Book of the Messenger. And they talk about it's like the duck on top of the water. It looks smoothly, but what you don't see are the feet swimming rapidly. So find your signature scent and smell amazing. Now, gents, if you're liking this video, you are going to love this one. I go into other details, other mistakes that you probably want to avoid. So if you want to continue on, yeah, check out this video right here. We'll go over more mistakes and yeah, you'll enjoy it. Check it out. Boom. Come on.